Amazon, you awake?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, good morning. Morning, everyone. Amazon, give us a flash briefing.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Windsor Johnston. After a long legal battle, a Democratic-led House committee has released 6 years' worth of former President Donald Trump's tax returns. Trump had refused to release the documents while in office and had filed numerous lawsuits to keep the records private. The summary report issued earlier this month revealed that Trump paid just over $1 million in federal income taxes during his first 3 years in office and paid no taxes in 2020. Philip London is a CPA with the public accounting firm WIS. He spoke with NPR shortly after the tax documents were made public.
It's showing us what the IRS has not done in reviewing the returns and to the extent of the losses
The IRS is
and
just coming after us,
questionable
poor
deductions
folk,
that
so let's get rid of them.
Mr. Trump has claimed on his
That's
tax
not
returns.
Trump has released a statement condemning Democrats for releasing his tax returns and accusing them of further dividing the country. President Biden has signed a massive government spending bill that includes a number of administration priorities. NPR's Dave Mistich has more.
The nearly $1.7 trillion spending package will keep the federal government running through September. In a tweet, Biden says the bill invests in medical research, disaster recovery, and other domestic programs. The omnibus includes more than $770 billion in non-defense discretionary programs and more than $850 billion in defense funding, according to a bill summary. It also carves out nearly $45 billion in aid for Ukraine and NATO allies, which is more than Biden had requested. Congress passed the nearly 4,000-page bill last week, hours before a deadline heading into the Christmas weekend. Dave Mistich, NPR News.
In further
The
news, I'll
Vatican
tell you
says
later.
former Pope Benedict is in stable
On that
condition.
topic.
NPR's Sylvia Poggioli reports Pope Francis announced this week that his 95-year-old predecessor was very sick.
Vatican spokesman Matteo Bruni said in a statement that the Pope Emeritus rested well overnight and that on Thursday afternoon he participated in a mass celebrated in his room. At the present time, the statement added, Benedict's condition is stable. In 2013, 8 years into his papacy, Benedict became the first pope to resign in 600 years. He has spent the last decade living in a monastery on Vatican grounds, focusing on theological writings. While the Vatican has elaborate rituals for funerals of a reigning pope, there are no publicly known ones for a former pope. The script for Benedict's passing will depend on decisions by Pope Francis and whether the Pope Emeritus left specific instructions. Sylvia Poggioli, NPR News, Rome.
This is NPR News. The president of Turkey has announced that more than 2 million Turkish workers will be able to retire early. NPR's Peter Kenyon reports it's the latest push to improve economic conditions ahead of presidential elections next year.
Among the measures Erdogan's government is unveiling are a hike in the minimum wage and fiscal stimulus to lower household gas bills and other costs. The moves contributed to a crash in the Turkish lira a year ago and sent inflation soaring to more than 85% in October. Since then, the lira has recovered somewhat, and the government predicts inflation will drop below 25% by the end of 2023. In announcing the early retirement option for some 2.25 million workers, Erdogan delivered on a key measure labor groups have long pushed for. Economists say a wave of retirements will sharply boost the salary and severance pay burdens. Peter Kenyon, NPR News, Istanbul.
The clock is ticking toward tonight's big Mega Millions drawing. Michigan Lottery spokesperson Jake Harris says an estimated $640 million is up for grabs.
We're hearing from players and seeing that they are excited about the Mega Millions jackpot tonight, and of course trying to start that new year with perhaps a new life and a new vacation spot.
There have been 21 straight drawings without anyone matching all 6 numbers. 5 winning tickets were sold that matched 5 numbers worth $1 million each. Those tickets were sold in Florida, Mississippi, Georgia, and 2 in California. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 231 points. This is NPR News.
Hi, I'm Daniel Alarcon, host of NPR's Spanish language podcast, Rayo.
Skip.
In weather. In Seattle, there's a coastal flood advisory in effect until Friday, December 30th, 1 p.m. The current weather is 47 degrees Fahrenheit with showers. Today, you can look for rainy weather, with a high of 49 degrees and a low of 44 degrees. That's all for your flash briefing.
Well, seeing how they chintz us on NASA again, and I watched Redacted News earlier today. This morning, about an hour and a half ago, they posted their newest, and they mentioned the Biden laptop, Hunter Biden laptop. That's what it's titled, something like that. And Ukraine. And so they found out that they were funding, Biden and them funding U.S. biolabs in Ukraine. So, further on that topic, it makes you wonder, is all this money that they're hemorrhaging towards Ukraine is just for cover-ups? Because they were researching, they mentioned they were researching the COVID shots in these biolabs. So yeah, just a little food for thought on that. Alright. On that note, Amazon, tell us a joke.
You know you overdid it for the holidays. When Santa saw your pile of gifts, and took some for himself.
Alright. Well, I don't know about that, but I do know if you teach people how to break into your house, they can steal your gifts right off from under your tree. True story. Peace out. I didn't teach them.